Alright, imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to grab a coffee, and you find an old penny. Nothing special, right? Just another Lincoln cent. But what if I told you that tiny, overlooked coin could be worth $1.1 million? Yeah, that's right, a single 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for a life-changing amount. Come on, it's just a penny. But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be raiding your piggy banks, checking your coin jars, and flipping over every penny you find. So, grab your change, sit back, and let's dive into the crazy, surprising, and downright unbelievable story of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And now, you might be wondering, why on earth would anyone pay over $1 million for a simple penny? Well, my friend, that's the magic of rare coins. It all comes down to errors, minting mistakes, and scarcity, the holy trinity of coin collecting. The 1989 Lincoln penny we're talking about was supposed to have a little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But this particular coin? Nothing. Completely blank. And now, the US Mint rarely messes up like this, but when they do, collectors go absolutely nuts for it. These rare errors can make a penny worth more than a luxury car, or even a house. Well, back in the 1980s, the Mint was transitioning to new engraving technology, and somewhere in that process, a batch of pennies got struck without a mint mark when they were supposed to have one. That means these pennies are super rare. Only a handful of these no mint mark pennies have ever been found in top-notch condition, and that's why they're so valuable. If a famous artist like Picasso accidentally painted something with two left hands, that artwork would be priceless, right? The same idea applies to this penny. It's an unintentional masterpiece of the US Mint. Now, let me tell you about the time I got way too excited over a penny. A few years ago, I was at my grandma's house helping her clean up, and she had this big old jar of pennies. I had just read an article about rare coins, so I figured, why not? I dumped the whole jar on the table and started sorting through them like a mad scientist. A 1989 penny with no mint mark. My heart stopped. I grabbed my phone, searched up its value, and for a split second, I thought I hit the jackpot, but nope, turns out it was just a regular worn-out penny. No rare error. No $1 million. Just me, staring at a coin worth 1 cent, feeling like the biggest fool in the world. But hey, it got me into coin collecting. And who knows, maybe one of you will actually find the real deal. How to spot a rare 1989 no mint mark penny. Now, if you want to join the hunt, here's what to look for. If there's a little D or S under the date, sorry, it's not the one. The rarer pennies in high-grade condition will have super crisp details, no heavy scratches, and a nice, clean strike. If it still has that nice reddish shine, that's a great sign. The best condition ones sell for the highest prices. If you think you've got one, get it checked by a professional grader before you start planning your dream vacation. Because if it's real, you might just become a millionaire overnight. Now, if you do have one of these rare pennies, don't just toss it on eBay for $5. Take it to a professional coin dealer or an auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These places specialize in rare coins, and they'll get you the absolute best price possible. Imagine explaining to your friends that you got rich by selling a penny. That's the kind of flex money can't buy. So, next time you're about to hand over a penny at the store, take a second look. That little coin in your pocket might just be your golden ticket to $1 million. If you loved this video and want to learn more about coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular videos about rare coins, valuable collectibles, and how to spot hidden treasures in your everyday pocket change. And hey, if you've ever found a cool or rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your old change jar, looking for a few extra cents to grab your morning coffee, when bam! You spot an old penny. You almost toss it back, because, well, it's just a penny. But wait, could it be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving into one of the most surprising discoveries in the coin world, the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could buy you a house, a luxury car, or about 1.2 million tacos, depending on inflation, of course. So, grab your coin jar, your magnifying glass, and maybe a cup of coffee, because by the end of this video, you might just be on your way to becoming a millionaire, or at least a very excited penny hoarder. Alright, so what makes this little copper coin such a big deal? Well, let's start with a bit of history. In 1981, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln pennies across different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins struck in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark. But what makes this penny special is that it has rare variations and errors that make it extremely valuable, the error that made it worth a fortune. So, how does a penny go from being worth a single cent to over $1 million? One-word errors. Point one of the key features of the 1981 no mint mark penny is that some were accidentally struck on brass planchets instead of zinc. This happened because 1982 was the year they officially switched from copper to zinc, but some leftover brass planchets from the previous year accidentally got mixed in. And if you happen to have one of these brass planchet errors, congratulations, your penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money. How to tell if you have the $1.2 million penny now? Before you go running to your piggy bank, let's talk about how to identify this valuable penny. A standard 1981 penny should weigh around 3.11 grams if it's copper, but if it's the valuable brass error, it might weigh slightly more or less. Get yourself a digital scale, trust me, it's worth the investment. A zinc penny tends to look a bit dull or grayish over time, while the rare brass variation will have a richer, deeper copper color. Think of it like the difference between a fresh copper wire and an old, corroded pipe. Okay, this one is fun. Drop your penny on a hard surface. If it has a high-pitched ding, it's likely copper or brass. If it sounds more like a dull thud, it's probably zinc. If you think you've hit the jackpot, don't just throw it on eBay for $5, get it graded. Organizations like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin and tell you its true value. A funny story about finding a valuable penny now. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at my grandmother's house, helping her clean out some old junk drawers. You know, the kind where you find a weird mix of expired coupons, mismatched socks, and about 500 pennies from the past century. As I was sorting through them, I found a 1981 penny that looked different. I remembered hearing about rare pennies, so I grabbed a scale and checked its weight. It was slightly off. My heart started racing. Could I have just hit the coin collector's jackpot? I rushed to a local coin shop, full of excitement. The guy behind the counter took one look at it, flipped it over, squinted, and then said, "Yeah, this is just a regular 1981 penny, worth exactly 1 cent. I was crushed. But hey, at least I learned a valuable lesson: always double-check with an expert before planning your millionaire lifestyle. As of now, the highest auction price for a rare 1981 no mint mark penny has reached $1.2 million. Of course, not every error penny will sell for that much, but even lower graded versions can still fetch thousands of dollars. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare variations, so if you have a high grade, well-preserved brass variation, you're sitting on a small fortune. If you think you have a valuable 1981 penny, here's what to do next. Websites like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbauer specialize in rare coin sales. Just be careful with scams, get your coin certified first. Some dealers are willing to pay a fair price, but do your research to avoid lowball offers. First, always check your change, because you never know when a tiny penny could be worth a massive payday. Second, rare coin errors can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. And finally, don't get your hopes up too high without proper verification. I learned that one the hard way. And now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more secrets to share that could help you turn pocket change into serious cash. And hey, next time you find a weird-looking penny, don't toss it aside. It might just be your golden ticket. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find enough change for a coffee, and boom! You pull out a penny worth $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny could change your life. Worth more than a Lamborghini? Yep, and today, we're diving deep into why this little copper coin is turning regular folks into millionaires overnight. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your pocket change. Plus, I'll share a crazy personal story about the time I almost spent a rare coin without realizing it. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. So, first things first, what's the deal with this penny? Why is a coin that most of us ignore suddenly worth a fortune? It all comes down to a combination of rarity, errors, and collector demand. The 2004 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, but some coins were struck without the mint mark. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal, But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies were minted on the wrong planchet, meaning they were struck using a metal composition that wasn't supposed to be used for pennies. Others have a striking error that makes them unique. And if you know anything about coin collectors, you know they love mistakes. The weirder, the better. Alright, now let's talk about how you can tell if you have one of these ultra valuable pennies. Flip your penny over and look under the date. If there's no little letter, P, D, or S, you might be in luck. A regular 2004 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. But if yours is slightly heavier or lighter, it could be one of the rare error coins. Some of these pennies were struck on a nickel planchet or even a silver one. If your 2004 penny looks a little too shiny, you might want to get it checked. Look closely for doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering. Even minor errors can add huge value, and before you go spending that lucky penny on a pack of gum, make sure to take it to a coin grading expert. They can confirm if you've hit the jackpot. Alright, let me tell you about the time I almost made the biggest mistake of my life. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, digging through my pocket for change. I had a bunch of pennies, and honestly, I was just trying to get rid of them. But right before I handed them over, something told me to stop and take a closer look. One of those pennies just felt different. It looked shinier, the color was off, and it weighed a little more than usual. I tossed it in my glove compartment and forgot about it. Months later, I came across it again and decided to do some research. Turns out, it was an error penny worth over $5,000. I almost spent it on a gas station candy bar. Lesson learned: check your change. You never know what you might have done. If you think you found a valuable 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the next step is selling it. Here are some of the best places to cash in. Places like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers specialize in rare coins and can get you the best price. eBay and Etsy have collectors searching for these rare coins every day. Always a great option, but make sure you know the value of your coin before selling. A great place to meet collectors and dealers who are willing to pay top dollar. Never clean your coin. Even if it looks dirty, cleaning it can ruin its value. So there you have it, the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, worth up to $1.3 million. Insane, right? Now, if you've got a jar of pennies sitting around, I'd say it's time for a treasure hunt. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about coins worth serious cash. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you've got any questions. I love hearing your stories. Hey, folks. Imagine this: you're digging through some old change in your car, maybe looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and instead of a boring old penny, you're holding on to a potential fortune. Crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what could happen if you come across a 1969 D Lincoln penny. That's right, today we're talking about a single penny worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yep, you heard that right. A little brown coin that most people would step over on the sidewalk could actually buy you a dream house, a sports car, and a lifetime supply of tacos. So, before you toss the change in the tip jar, stick with me, because this is one coin you don't want to let go of. We're going to break down exactly why this penny is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can spot one in your collection. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Why is it commanding such a mind-blowing price? Well, let's rewind back to 1969, a year filled with moon landings, Woodstock, and some really questionable fashion choices. At the Denver Mint, millions of pennies were being churned out like usual. But something weird happened. A small number of these pennies had major minting errors, making them extremely rare and incredibly valuable. And now, before you start raiding your piggy bank, let's break this down, because not every 1969 D penny is worth a fortune. There are some key details that make the difference between a regular penny and one that could change your life. Alright, here's where things get interesting. There are a few different reasons why this penny can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Let's go over the big ones. One of the most sought-after 1969 pennies is the 1969 S double-die penny, but its Denver cousin also has some valuable minting errors. Some of these pennies have a slight but noticeable doubling in the lettering, which collectors go absolutely nuts over. If you notice Lincoln's face or the words Liberty and In God We Trust looking a little fuzzy or doubled, hold on to that penny. If you find a 1969 D penny, but it looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, it's probably not worth much. However, if it's in near perfect condition, that's where the big bucks come in. A high-grade, uncirculated 1969 D penny has sold for over $1 million at auction. Unlike the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints, the Denver Mint didn't produce as many high-value error coins. This means that finding a 1969 D with any kind of significant flaw is super rare, making it even more desirable to collectors. If it doesn't have a D under the date, you're looking at the wrong coin. The D stands for Denver, and that's the one we're after. Like I mentioned earlier, get a magnifying glass and take a close look at the letters and numbers. If they look doubled or slightly offset, that's a good sign. If your penny looks shiny and clean, with very few scratches, that's even better. The higher the grade, the higher the price. If you think you've got a valuable one, don't just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it officially authenticated. And now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandfather clean out his old coin collection. We came across a bunch of pennies from the 1960s, and I almost just threw them into a jar without looking, but then boom! I noticed a 1969 D penny that looked a little different. My heart started racing. I grabbed my phone, looked up the details, and, well, turns out it wasn't the $1 million version. But it did sell for $150 at auction, which, for a penny, is still pretty crazy. That moment taught me a valuable lesson: always check your change. You never know when you might be holding onto something truly valuable. The surprising value of the 1969 D Lincoln penny. A tiny little coin that could be hiding in your couch cushions right now and be worth a life-changing amount of money. If you've got old coins lying around, take a second look at them. Who knows? You might just strike it rich. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more videos on hidden treasures in your pocket change, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Also, if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and remember, check your pennies. You never know which one could make you a millionaire. See you in the next video. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny, a 2016 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, is worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single cent, worth more than a mansion, a sports car, and a lifetime supply of pizza combined. Now, before you go diving into your couch cushions or emptying your piggy bank, let's break down exactly what makes this little copper beauty so valuable. And stick around, because I've got a crazy personal story about a coin find that changed the way I look at pennies forever. First off, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. Normally, pennies made in 2016 should have a little mint mark, either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But this rare beauty? No mint mark at all. Nada. Zip. Just Lincoln staring back at you like he knows something you don't. This happened due to a minting error, and as any coin collector will tell you, mistakes are worth big money. The US Mint accidentally produced a very limited number of these without a mint mark, making them incredibly rare. And when something is rare, collectors go absolutely wild for it. Now, just because you find a 2016 penny without a mint mark doesn't mean you're instantly a millionaire. Condition is everything. If your coin has been rolling around in a parking lot for years, it's probably not going to bring in the big bucks. But if you find one in pristine condition, preferably graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, that's where the money comes in. Think near perfect condition, never circulated, are the ones that have sold for insane amounts, with the record sale hitting that $1.5 million mark. Imagine that. A penny that costs more than a Lamborghini. I bet Lincoln himself would have been shocked. Alright, so how do you know if you have this golden, or should I say, copper, ticket? Here's what to do: grab a 2016 penny and check below the date. If there's a tiny D or P, sorry, no jackpot. If there's no mint mark, it's time to get excited. If it's shiny, with no scratches or marks, you might have something special. Get it authenticated. Seriously, don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. A certified grading company will tell you exactly how valuable it is. A few years back, I was at a garage sale, sifting through a little box of old coins, when I found a penny that looked off. No mint mark. I asked the guy selling it, "How much for this penny?" and he laughed, saying, "Just take it. It's only a penny." Well, being the obsessive coin nerd that I am, I took it home, did some research, and sent it in for grading. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth thousands. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a humble penny. So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your pocket change. That little penny sitting in your car's cup holder or at the bottom of your junk drawer could be worth a fortune, and if you love learning about coins that are worth way more than you'd ever expect, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more treasure hunting tips, crazy coin stories, and ways to turn spare change into serious cash. Hey, coin hunters! Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, pulling out some crumpled dollar bills and a handful of pennies, when boom, you realize one of those pennies could be worth a life-changing $1.70 million. But today, I'm going to tell you exactly how and why the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a small fortune. I usually just leave those in my car's cup holder or toss them in the take a penny, leave a penny tray at the gas station. But let me tell you, after this video, you'll never look at your pennies the same way again. So, grab your change jar, maybe even a magnifying glass, and let's dive into why this tiny coin has collectors ready to shell out millions, the mystery of the 1986 no-mint mark penny. Alright, first things first. What makes this 1986 Lincoln penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to an error. Yep, a good old-fashioned minting mistake. Normally, US coins have a little letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia, though Philly usually leaves theirs blank. But in 1986, a batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark, and these babies are crazy rare. Some collectors believe that these no mint mark pennies were part of an accidental test batch or a small group that slipped through quality control. Either way, only a handful of them have been found, which is why they're selling for so much money. So why are people paying $1.7 million for a tiny copper-coated zinc coin? It's all about rarity and condition. Now here's the deal: if you have a 1986 penny, you need to check for it now. Let's say you find a 1986 penny with no mint mark in pristine condition, you might just be sitting on a jackpot. One of the biggest sales of this penny happened at an auction where a collector went all in and paid a record-breaking $1.7 million. Imagine paying $1 million for a penny. Talk about irony. And before you think, oh, that's just one crazy collector, nope. The demand for rare Lincoln pennies is huge. Serious collectors love these rare finds, and as long as demand stays high, these pennies will keep fetching high prices. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I started looking through my pocket change just for fun. At first, I thought, it's just pennies, what's the big deal? But one day, I found an old wheat penny from the 1940s, and that's when I got hooked. One night, I was so deep into checking coins that I lost track of time. My wife walked in and saw me under a lamp with a magnifying glass, squinting at pennies like some kind of mad scientist. She just sighed and said, "Are we broke, or is this a new hobby?" Fast forward to today, and now I've learned that some of these boring pennies are actually gold mines in disguise. And that's why I always tell people, check your change. You never know what treasure you might have, how to find one, and what to do if you do so. What if you find a 1986 no mint mark penny? Here's what to do: if it looks brand new, you're in luck. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's truly rare and high quality, collectors will line up to buy it. Remember, coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. Alright, folks, we just went down the 1986 penny rabbit hole, and now you know why this tiny coin is making such a huge impact in the collector's world. So, before you toss that pocket change into a vending machine, take a second look. You might just have $1 million penny in your hands. If you loved this video and want more awesome tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be back with more hidden treasures, crazy auction stories, and expert coin hunting strategies. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, fellow coin hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, just looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and boom! You come across a regular old penny from 1979. No big deal, right? Just 1 cent, barely enough to buy a single piece of gum these days. But what if I told you that little copper coin could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about a 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could change your life forever. Stick around because we'll dive into how to spot this valuable penny, what makes it so special, and how you might have one sitting in a jar on your kitchen counter right now. And hey, if you enjoy learning about hidden treasure in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more crazy coin finds. Alright, let's get into it. Now, before you go flipping over every penny you've ever touched, let's talk about why this specific 1979 penny is so valuable. It all comes down to minting errors and rarity. In 1979, pennies were primarily made in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. The ones made in Philadelphia normally didn't have a mint mark, so what's the big deal? Well, there's a very specific error variety that collectors are absolutely crazy about. It's known as the double die obverse, which means the details on the front of the coin were stamped twice, causing a slight but noticeable doubling effect. This doubling is most visible on the word Liberty and the date 1979. But wait, it gets better. Some of these error pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning instead of the usual copper-plated zinc composition, a few were mistakenly printed on pure copper or even a rare leftover silver planchet from a previous minting. Talk about a factory mistake worth celebrating. Who had a weird hobby of collecting pennies? Not in an organized, fancy collector kind of way, but in a hoarder who refuses to use exact change kind of way. One day, he's sorting through his mountain of coins when he notices something odd about one of his 1979 pennies. It looked slightly different, shinier, heavier, and the letters looked off. Instead of tossing it back into the pile, Dave decided to take it to a local coin dealer. And guess what? They told him it was a rare error penny worth over $1 million. 1 penny. Imagine explaining that to your spouse. So what did Dave do? He sold it at an auction and took an early retirement. Not bad for something most people would drop on the sidewalk without a second thought. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these $1 million pennies? Here's what to look for. Make sure it's from Philadelphia, meaning there's no little letter under the date. Check for slightly doubled letters, especially in Liberty and the date 1979. If your penny looks unusually shiny or feels heavier, it might be a rare off-metal strike. Coins in mint state, meaning they look brand new, are worth the most. If yours has been through a few laundry cycles, it might not be as valuable, but still worth checking. If you think you've struck penny gold, don't go spending it just yet. Here's your next move: take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't clean it. Scrubbing a coin to make it shinier can actually lower its value. Collectors love coins in their natural, aged state. Consider auctioning it. Rare pennies like this get top dollar at coin auctions. Some buyers are willing to pay millions if the condition is pristine, so there you have it, the surprising $1 million secret hiding in an ordinary 1979 penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? If you found this video helpful, or if you're now aggressively searching through your couch cushions, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin hunting tips. I'll be sharing more stories about rare coins that could be sitting right in your pocket, waiting to make you rich. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Maybe you're sitting on a hidden fortune and don't even know it.